All right, hello everybody. This is Matt Weibel, and this is just a quick video showing you how to set up a virtual classroom session on Brightspace by D2L. So, you'll notice I'm in my course shell sandbox here, my kind of beta course. This is where I can play around, so luckily I won't be scheduling any random meetings for my students to go to. But your virtual classroom link will be along the top row here. If you do not see it, you might have too many tools up here, which means click on More, and you can see virtual classroom is right there. So if you click on the virtual classroom link, it's going to show you the meetings you have going on. Now, recorded meetings will be your previous meetings, so you can see I've got some virtual classroom and UCU stuff down here, as well as an active meeting. This is one that apparently I scheduled way back in 2019 that's still going. Who knows? But you know what, we're going to cancel this meeting because I'm assuming that's not still going on. So, no active meetings yet. If you do want to interact with any of your meetings, whether it's recorded, active, or future, you just click the three buttons here under Actions, and that's where you can gain access to all of these. Now, the question you're probably wondering is, how do I set up an actual session? Well, there isn't any button on here. You would assume there'd be a new meeting or a start meeting button somewhere on here. It's actually down in the bottom right corner, this reddish pinkish circle over here. When you click on that, it's going to bring this menu up for you. So you'll have the ability to schedule a meeting, so office hour. You can set the meeting date, and these are required because you need to label what your meeting is, when it's happening, and at what time. So we're going to say Sunday, March 22nd. For the meeting time, if it's on the day that you're currently on, it's not going to really let you mess around too much with the times. It's going to require you to kind of keep things normally at the hour you're at, but for now it seems to be letting me have a little bit more freedom and flexibility with it. Let me see if I try something that's already passed. Oh, so it will let me do it. That's kind of weird. But you can set this for whatever time you would like. So, for instance, if you would like it at, we'll say 8:30, or, well, since it's 7:03 for me now, I'm going to set it for 7:05. So I'll drag it down to 7. I'm on PM, and then I will click on the minutes here, drag this over to 5. So again, if you click on either of these, it'll switch you between hours and minutes, as well as between AM and PM. So we'll go ahead and set that up. You can schedule it to start now, but generally if you give yourself a couple of minutes, that allows you to do any setup you need. Below that is max duration. Since we have the premium version, that will allow you to schedule a meeting up to 240 minutes, which should be long enough for any class you have going on. If your class is, let's say, 75 minutes, I'd say set it just for 90. That way it doesn't randomly cut off right at 75. Give yourself a little buffer, generally a good idea. It's recommended that you do not repeat, just because once you've created a meeting, there are some settings you can't adjust, so it's better to just create sessions as you need them. But again, you're welcome to do what you want. I would recommend keeping it on does not repeat. There is this button right here, which is unchecked to start, but you can check, and that is automatically record meeting. If you click this, as soon as you launch the meeting, it will start recording. However, if you don't have this checked, what will happen is you will have to actually click record meeting once you start the meeting, and that will be located somewhere towards the middle top of your screen once you get into the actual virtual classroom screen. But I always recommend automatically record. That way you never miss a recording. And if your students see the recording and see the first minute or two of you setting up, who really cares? At least they have that class session available. Publish recorded meeting means that the meeting that you recorded will be available to be viewed by others after it's done. It will take some time to process once the meeting's done, but eventually it will become available for students. This next link, allow external participants, means that you can invite people from outside of the class. So if I were to do that, it would create a link that I could use. And then this bottom link is for invite entire class. That's going to be checked by default. But let's say you just wanted to have a one-on-one conference with a student. In that case, you would uncheck this, and then it would prompt you to invite particular students. But for now, we're just going to go automatically record, publish recorded meeting, and invite entire class. Publish recorded and invite entire class are automatically checked to start. We're just clicking this one right here to also have it start. And since it's now 7:05 my time, I'm actually going to go ahead and just set this forward about a minute. Oh, now it's 7:06, so now we're going to set it ahead another minute. Very exciting. All right, once you are ready and you have all the settings where you want, make sure you have everything the way you want it. Go ahead and click Save. And so you'll see active meetings. And once you're close enough to the meeting time, it will allow you to launch the meeting. As you can see, I can't really edit any of my options now that the meeting is about to be live. So what we'll do is we'll go to Launch, and that will bring you to this screen. Now, these numbers are what your students are going to use if they want to dial in and talk on the phone. So you will use the United States number in order to do that. However, this section with the phone numbers, as well as the code that will need to be entered, this 5-digit code followed by pound, will not be present unless you're within a certain amount of time of the meeting. I don't know if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, but if you schedule it far enough out, these are not going to show up. So again, these will be showing up closer to the actual meeting time. You will want to go ahead and post this phone number as well as this code. So again, the US phone number as well as the 5-digit code in an announcement or in an email to your students, because they will need both of these if they are going to call in. However, we're going to go ahead and enter our meeting room. When you do, it's going to give you the option to join audio via mic or via listen only. For your students, unless you really want them chiming in, I would say listen only. So we're going to choose listen only for now.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
So up top here, this is where you would click to record if you didn't automatically start the recording. So again, you would just set up whatever you need as well as click record. This bottom row is where you're going to change your audio settings. So if I wanted to join audio, I would click this. And once I click it again, it will give me the option if I want to use a mic. We're going to go again back to listen only.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
With video menu, you have the option to share your camera. I'm not going to do that now since I'm at home and looking a little bit rough since we're in the middle of quarantine. But you can go ahead and share your camera as well as share your screen. Now, when you click this, you're going to get prompted to choose what you want. You can choose your entire screen, just the Chrome tab specifically. So I've got a bunch of tabs open. The application window, I would say if you want to be safe, you can just go entire screen. So that will allow you to share once you click share. And now they'll be able to see anything you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and pause the screen share there and stop sharing my screen just so it doesn't get all wonky and weird. On the right side here are your tools. So for instance, if you wanted to type something on here, you could just use that text box, type something out. There is an undo button here if you want. You can also clear annotations. You also have the ability to do things like write freehand. So if you want to write an equation, ST plus OP equals stop. You can do that if you'd like. And again, you can clear everything away at once if you want. You can also use your screen share to show a presentation. So for instance, if I did share my entire screen, I could just pull up a PowerPoint, click present, and then go through it. Or one other thing that you're allowed is this bottom left tab here with the plus sign, this plus sign circle, that allows you to do a few things. This is where you can mute all. So if your students are talking, you would just click the plus sign and then mute all. That means you would be the only one talking. You could initiate a poll so you could ask them questions, or you can click to upload a presentation. So you can click here to upload files or drag files directly there. And then when you do, the PowerPoint itself would show up right here, and you would use the controls here to click slide to slide. So you have a few options available there. Last couple of things I want to show you, and then I'll give you the chance to go ahead and explore on your own, are on the top left. So you'll see that there is a user list. This is where you can find who is in the chat. So if there are multiple users, if you have your students in here, your name will pop up as well as theirs. So whenever you click these, they'll pop out or pop back, as well as the chat feature. So this is where we can go to chat. So hello students. That would be available for all students to see. When there are more people in here, you can actually click their name and send them messages directly. But I also want to point out this right up here. These are the phone numbers again, as well as the code. Just in case you forgot to copy it from that meeting menu before, this is where you would take them from instead to email out or post in an announcement for your students. One neat thing about this is if you go to the user list and you click on your name, you can set a status. So what you can ask students to do is set their status whenever you ask them questions or whenever you go through a section of your PowerPoint. So you could say, all right, using your status under the user list, please let me know whether or not you have any questions or if you were confused by anything. If you were perfectly okay, click happy. If you were confused, click confused. And if you have a question, please click the raise your hand button. So you can go ahead and actually have your students indicate what they're feeling. Are they undecided? Are they happy? Do they have a question? Or is everything all good? They're giving you the thumbs up. You also have the ability, as you're the moderator or the leader of that lesson, to clear people's statuses. So once you answer Matt Weibel's question, you can say, all right, Matt, got your question, so I'm going to clear your status. And that allows me to go right back to my normal mode there. If I have another question later, I can always raise my hand or let you know we're all good. So when you're ready to end the session, you can go right up here to stop recording if you would like, or just click on these top 3 buttons right here. You can also play with a few other things here, but for now, we're going to go ahead and end the meeting. And that will end everything out. Now, if you just clicked leave meeting from that menu, the meeting would keep going, meaning students would still be there talking, seeing things on the screen. But I would recommend just ending the meeting as soon as the class itself is complete. Other than that, once you're done, you can go ahead and close the window, close that window. And if we update, I'm not sure if it's going to switch it to previous meetings now. Nope, it's technically still active because it's up for 90 minutes, but there's not going to be any option to launch it again or do anything. So if you accidentally quit the meeting, you may have to create another meeting. But that's just a very general overview of the software itself. This was about probably like a 10-minute video or so. It may not answer all the questions you have regarding virtual classroom, but hopefully it should be at least a decent start. So if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me directly. Otherwise, I'm happy to work with you and be a student if you'd like in your virtual classroom sessions. Just be sure to send me that external participant link. So, again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later.